Hello YouTube, iFixItAll here, Team iFixItAll. Let's call this part 2. If you go backwards in my videos, 6 or 8 or 10 DIY garden topsoil. Show you what I got going on over here. I'll do a garden update soon. Got a lot of projects going on. So I generally don't cut my grass until the end of May because I let it get tall. And plus there's a whole lot of flowers and things that pop up in the grass that when little critters are coming out of hibernation and bugs and things, they have nutrients, especially dandelion. And so that first cutting produced, I'm going to tell you what, literally this thing is like packed full of grass cuttings. That was literally, I had to stand on it to get that lid on right there. And then I was weighing it down with a brick with this cinder block here, CMU, concrete masonry unit. I added water, and it's been on here for, well, since like the end of May. So, why am I saying that? It's not the end of May. No, it's the beginning of May. Yeah, a month. So it's been decomposing since the beginning of May. That's right. My son's birthday is first week in May, so that's when I cut grass. And what's going on here is this water, this grass cuttings they're decomposing, and it is some nasty water. What I'm going to do is pump that out with a little hand pump right there into that bucket and put it on my corn. I only have 4 rows, but I've got 4 different breeds, and I expect them to cross over to each other. And then there's a couple of volunteer tomato plants in here. I hate when that happens, but I'll roll with it. There's a mater. And then a couple of volunteer sunflowers up there. Oh, volunteer turnip. Yeah, here's sunflower. There's a sunflower. And there's a sunflower. Just showed up right in the middle of the walkway here. I'll talk about what I've got going on with those little bags over the veggies. That's in a previous video. So, rule of thumb for gardening when it comes to, wow, what can I really put on my plants that is really nutritious? You're probably throwing it away every time you cut grass. Find a container. Maybe you'll find one that's a dark in color so it doesn't stand out and violate some HOA thing or whatever. But rule of thumb for gardens and gardening, the more it stinks, the better your garden's going to like it. And this stuff smells. It smells like a barn with active duty critters of all the varieties. It stinks so bad. You can't even see the cinder block through the water. You can't make it out. It's nasty. Yeah, that's accurate. Let's get over here where better light is. So see that it's going in there and you can't see it? That's how. What are you benefiting from this? Well, that grass used to be green, but now it's gone brown. The nitrogen has wicked out and went to the water, plus anything else that's yummy. And the corn is going to be the beneficiary. So I'll get that water. I'll get some of that water out. I'll fill this 1 bucket up, which I don't know how many. Oh, it's only, it's 2-gallon bucket. So I'll get this 2-gallon bucket. And I'll put 2 gallons on one row, 2 gallons on another, 2 on another, and 2 on the last one. And then I will let that soak in and let the corn enjoy it, but I'm getting really close to step 2 with growing corn. I did something a while back. There is a video of me with a yellow dry erase board sketching something out that has to do with corn and why you need to go as deep as you can when you lay off your rows. You got to get that seed deep, 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 deep. So I got high mounds of dirt and I got corn down in the trough. Now those corn, when I laid off these rows, I put the corn down into the ground another 1.5 inches or so. Right now what you see is a corn stalk sticking up, and it's June 10th, but there's probably 5 inches of stalk underground too. The objective here is corn needs to, its roots can't get hot or else it'll just stunt the growth. What you're trying to do is get that corn to sprout quite a bit higher than your dirt mounds. And then at the appropriate time, you want to hoe those high mounds as high as you can up on the corn. Hill them. Essentially what you're doing is you're putting the root system probably a good 8 or so inches below grade. Well, in my case, I've got some, well, let me show you. All right, in my case, back here, where my chicken's house is, I have a mound of dirt. Now this looks like just regular dirt, but it's not. Every bit of this was me over the past 12 months raking leaves. See that chicken poo? Raking leaves out of the chicken coop area. And it falls behind the fence and on the ground down there. I would rake it up into a pile, let it decompose and turn it and let it decompose. And it's been about a year. And it's now starting to convert to soil because I've noticed I've got some grass popping up in it. I'll do something about that. It's no good. But this is all chicken manure and leaves right here. And maybe there's some dirt because I've been raking it up from in here too, where I've got these nesting boxes set up just below the chicken coop. The chickens like to come back here and lay eggs in their boxes. But I've been diligently raking up all of that bedding into that pile, and it'll get moved over to here. I'm thinking I'm going to haul with the wheelbarrow that dirt and bring it over and fill in these dips. Fill in the dirt. If you can see how much lower the corn is and how deep it is in the ditches. Hope that shows up. I'll probably put the dirt right in the ditch where the corn has popped out and get that dirt. Oh, I'll just get a bunch of dirt in there. And then I can come along, and if I want to hoe up even more, I can take these hills here and bring that up. What you're trying to do is get those roots so far below grade that if you do have hot summer conditions and drought, they have moisture. They have access to moisture. They have their roots. See, you're eliminating a variable when it comes to drought seasons or what have you. If the roots are chilly and cool, but it's hot out and there's a lot of sun, you're removing one of the variables that'll stunt the growth of a garden plant or cause it to bolt. So getting those roots deep is critical, especially for corn. And plus, I plant a little earlier than everyone else. I waste quite a bit of seed because I go in the ground. This year I did, these have been in since last week of, I think it was end of the third week of April. And we are here. You can tell some of these are older corn, a little bit taller, and some are newer. And I'm doing an experiment though right now. I have my corn seed from last year. Then I have a neighbor's corn seed. Then I have really old Bodacious, and then I've got really old Silver Queen. Well, I planted my Silver Queen and it's getting really old, so I had to transplant a lot of mine. That's what I've named it. And mine turned out really good last year, so I transplanted some of that corn over in here. So I have no idea what I'm going to grow this year. What you want is your corn to grow tall and high, and you cross your fingers that you don't see many blooms real soon. In other words, it doesn't tassel out. The later you can get it to tassel out, the taller it's going to be. And if it's super tall, then it will develop more ears of corn in between a leaf and the stalk. A leaf and a stalk. But your normal 6 or 7 foot tall corn, it's going to have 2 ears on it, maybe if you're lucky 3. Last year I averaged 3 to 4 ears per stalk, and this year I'm trying to go for that same target. Get it 3 is the least, and on the average would be 3. I never have had 5, but I'm working on it this year. I don't think I'm going to get that lucky to have 5 ears. Now that's awful thick, I know. I may have to do some thinning. But what I'm observing is who is the weakest link. In about another week or so, I'm going to judge this row that's real thick. And whoever's puny, it's coming out. And a part of me wants to do late corn, like transplant the puny ones somewhere. But there's only so many ears of corn we can put up. All right, well, back to the water thing. You got the water going in here. It's going to be a good nitrogen boost that's natural and free. And it'll go on these. And I'll probably do this a couple, 3 more times. And I'll keep replenishing the water in that bucket there, in that drum. But as far as the topsoil concept, if you just leave the lid on it all year and all winter, and sheesh, next spring, you'll take the lid off and it'll be black soil, just like the previous video. All right, guys, you take her easy. See ya.